Hello.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fry's Corner Bar. Happy Friday.
How are you guys doing tonight? Let me hide that crawler.
Okay.
So, as always, if you're here, we'd love to hear from you. Say hi, and we like to interact.
Yes.
So, what are you making tonight, babe?
Well, I'm making two soups. Okay. First one is a 5-bean soup. Well, the second one is a 5-bean soup. The first one is a bourbon soup, and this one wasn't on our website or anything, but it's really a simple soup. You take, this is a Angel's Envy finished rye, and then you take these frozen croutons.
Are you making a cocktail?
No. This is a finished rye soup.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm gonna have a little sip of that.
So just a couple housekeeping things. One of the things is we actually are trying a new sound system. So we have like wired mics.
Wireless.
Well, they're wireless, but we each have a mic. So I'm hoping that.
So I'm a 2 mic.
Yeah, you're 2 mics. And I'm hoping that this mic remembers not to bang too much when he's over there making the soup. He loves to get the stuff off the
Miss Sensitive ears here.
So Jane is here. So hello, Jane. Welcome again. We always love having you. And you better get started because he has a lot of things to do tonight.
Yes. So I posted the recipe on. Are you holding my hand?
I am.
Okay. I posted the recipe on friescornerbar.com. And what I did is I have everything already staged and ready to go. So I'm going to assemble this, and I'll talk a little bit about what I'm doing. But it's a really simple recipe that you'd use. So on the recipe, I said you could use like sauteed bacon if you wanted, or olive oil. I did a little bit of sauteed bacon. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in my onions and chopped up red peppers, bell peppers. And I'm going to saute those for a couple of minutes. And then I'll throw in my garlic. But I always modify some of our recipes because I like to change it up. And I've made this soup a lot of times. So I'm going to throw in a little bit of a Scotch bonnet pepper, about 1/4 of a Scotch bonnet, just to add a little bit of heat to go with the smokiness of the bacon. This recipe is from KSB, from the Workout Club, Kelly Schaefer Brown. She gave me this about 3 or 4 years ago, and I've made it. I've shared it with a bunch of people, and everyone has always loved it. So I thought it'd be good for tonight. I thought it'd actually be a little colder out, but it's actually short and t-shirt weather here. So I'm going to get started. I have my bacon pretty much sauteed. I'm going to throw in the onions, bell pepper.
Show us what?
Yes,
are you going to show that now, or are you going to show that?
Well, I'm going to actually.
Tell me what you're going to do.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm all over the place. Let me show you guys how I dice an onion.
Put it in the stream.
Okay.
And then you tell me when I can make a cocktail.
All right. So this is how I dice an onion. I don't know how you guys do it. A lot of times people just chop it needlessly too much. So first off is I make a slice. So if you look at it this way, I don't do it that way. I do it like this, and it comes almost through to the end. Hopefully you guys can see that. Pull the knife out. I make these cuts about to where my horizontal cut went. So these
you need to keep
cuts.
The core in because that keeps everything together as you slice it.
Yeah, so now just one. So you can see that all my onion is nice and diced up here. Okay, so it's all even. It's all ready to go. You don't have to do a whole bunch of extra slicing. It's like 5 cuts one way, 1 horizontal. And this is too small of a thing, so I'm making a little bit of a mess over here. I'm moving this on to my soup. Why don't you make a cocktail while
I am going to hide that. And let's see, Betty Brown says, I think she's saying sounds good. It says sound is good. Oh, sound is good. Oh, she likes our mics. Okay, sorry. I thought you were saying the food sounds good. Okay, I have 2 cocktails to make this evening. The first one that I'm going to make is, it's actually one
Sorry. That's hot. I needed a bigger thing.
It's one of my favorite cocktails. It's actually the cocktail that I had this in Dallas probably 5-7 years ago. And it was actually the cocktail that made me fall in love with the resurgence of cocktails. So this cocktail is a liquor drink. It's called the Oaxaca Old Fashioned. And so we're going to stir it. And what it takes is we are going to use Reposado tequila. So we're going to put 1.5 ounces of Reposado tequila into our stirring glass. And because, as always, I'm making 2, even though Mike has his bourbon soup over here. So putting my 3 ounces in. And then we're going to use Mezcal. Now, Mezcal is like tequila, except what they do is they smoke the agave before they distill the liquor. So, and this is not the Mezcal when you grew up with the worm in the bottle. This is completely different. I know when I first heard Mezcal, I was like, I thought about, you can come closer. I thought about the worm in the bottle, and I was, but it's so much better, and it just has this nice smoky flavor and smell. This is called Zaccaru. This is a Reposado as well. I like the Zaccaru. And the next cocktail I'm going to make, I'm going to actually use the Vita. The Vita is just a really good go-to brand of Mezcal if you're not sure. So this Mezcal is 1/2 ounce for the cocktail. I'm making 2, so I'm putting 1 ounce in. And then to sweeten it, we are going to use agave nectar. We have this blue agave from Trader Joe's. It's organic. It's good. And I'm going to use my trusty, I bought a bar tool mixing set. So it actually has a bar spoon on it. So I'm putting 2 of those bar spoons in. Actually, I'm going to put a little more because, of course, I picked the wrong spoon. And
one time, Shannon made me a whole gallon of these for the Randolph brothers. We went out to Dale's party garage, and we had a gallon. They thought it was iced tea. They drank on that for a couple of days. And
so Mike asked me to make a batch of Oaxaca Old Fashioned.
For 6 people.
For 6 people.
Each one cocktail.
So I start to make this. And I way over measured the agave syrup. So in order to balance out the cocktail so that it wasn't way overly sweet, I had to add basically all the booze. And it was in this big gallon jug. It's like, it was crazy because they were drinking it like it was iced tea because they are very tasty. I'm going to use 4 dashes of the Angostura bitters. And I think, as I mentioned, in the few shows, always fill your vessels with the liquor and all your ingredients before you add ice. That way you can control the distilling process. So I serve these in old-fashioned glasses, and I have our frozen ice balls. So I'm going to put those in just to get them out of the way of my ice bucket. And I'm going to fill the mixing glass to the brim with ice. And we are going to stir this. You take your bar spoon, put it down on the side of the glass, and then as we stir, we're just going to keep the spoon. The spoon will always be in contact with the side of the glass. So we're not, stirring the ice up. We're stirring the ice in a group so that it's really going to dilute the cocktail. And, don't be afraid to over stir because the dilution, once it gets properly diluted, the dilution kind of stops diluting. So you're always better to just give it a little extra stir. That way you know you have the proper consistency of the pour. And then as I pour this, you'll see it'll pour out like a ribbon from the mixing glass. Just going to stir this a little bit longer. Oh, Kevin Shoei says, great story. I'm going to just put that up while I'm stirring. That was a good story. It was, but I will say, everybody remembers the Oaxaca Old Fashions. And I'm going to, again, kiss the glasses and pour this from glass to glass. You can kind of see as it comes out, it looks very syrupy, very liquidy. Just going to walk it back and forth so we get an even pour. We always like to be fair. Okay, now this is one of my favorite things about this cocktail is this cocktail has an interesting garnish. I'm going to move my candle down here because what we're going to do is we are going to take an orange, and this is a big round because it's easier to do. And we are going to flame the orange so that it actually kind of chars the, and it will spark and light up the orange oil as it comes out. So I'm going to light my kitchen match.
You don't want to use my...
No, the torch does not work.
Okay. I've just been dying to use this. I've only used it a few times. But the torch just doesn't work as well. Okay, honey, take it away from... Okay, and then you squeeze the orange, and then you saw the little flame. Hopefully you saw the little flame, and then you drop that into the cocktail. I am going to do the other one. Oop, I'm almost done with my soup.
Okay, well, you can move on to the other soup. And again, I like to use kitchen matches. The torches, they just don't do the same. You can't control it as much. And I like to let it burn down a little bit so you're not getting that sulfur from the match.
Oh, yeah. Did you see that flame out?
Yeah, I saw it. I probably should have had it tilted down a little more to the glass. Let me hide this recipe.
Yeah, hide it.
See you. Okay, so this is the Oaxacan Old Fashioned.
To the Randolphs.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Love you.
Love you.
Okay, so let's see. Darlene, she's laughing. So Darlene, this is a cocktail. Yeah.
Are you coming by to get your cocktail? You had asked about coming to the bar.
So, because who has all those ingredients?
We do.
Okay, so what do you want to do now? Do you want to show your soup, or you let it simmer?
No, I'm just waiting for it to come to a boil, and then I'm going to add in all my dry spices, stir that in, and let that go for just a few more minutes, and it's basically done. When I say it's easy, it really is. It's about 15 minutes of prep work. It's about 20 minutes to cook. It's super simple.
You don't always have to look back there.
Well, I got to make sure stuff is going okay. So that's where the stove is.
Yeah, but the camera and everybody's right there.
Okay. So back there's the stove. If it boils over, tell me. So what I'm serving with this is I made a nice green salad. Let me get that out real quick. And just to show, I made 2 of these.
Darlene, you guys are awesome. Wait, let me.
So those are my salads.
I'll turn on the food cam. Thank you, Darlene. I'll have to tell you, like last weekend, this time of year where I work is performance review time. So, I've been, writing up all these performance reviews for the, for various people. And Mike had sent me an invite for his performance review. He was feeling left out that he didn't get a performance review. So last Friday after the show, after we had a couple of our cocktails, we sat out in the garage and we went through all the categories of the performance review. 12
of them.
12 different categories. And we gave each other a performance review, and it was hilarious. It was so much fun. I really, we decided we're going to make it an annual event. Because not only did we not only did we say what skills we each need to work on and what we need to do, we kind of have a little action plan. So so next year we'll see how we did on that action plan.
Yeah, my skill was to work on flossing. I think wasn't it more flossing? Is that what you said?
That was it.
So I was going to talk about wine, but I can't do that anymore.
He's got 20 bottles over there to talk about tonight. Okay.
However, I did get a
Oh,
new.
now he walks away. He always walks off camera.
I did get a case of our favorite
Oops.
Cane Cuvée NV17. It's a brand new release. It just came out.
It's very good.
Letting this sit for a couple of days because of the shipping. I want everything to be just right when we open it.
We don't want any bottle shock.
Yeah, we don't want any bottle shock. And that's what happens when wine gets shipped. You usually want to let it sit for a few days. So
okay. So can I make my other cocktail, or you have more chit chatting? Or do you have
I have really nothing to say.
That's one of Mike's problems. He needs to improve his communication skills because he doesn't speak enough. Okay, then the next thing, and I need to improve my listening skills.
What? Yes.
Okay, so we're going. This cocktail that I'm making is a Division Bell. Let me pull this recipe up. Now, this recipe is a take on The Last Word. One of our other favorite cocktails, which is a mezcal-based cocktail, which is also a take on The Last Word, is the Naked and Famous. We've done that in the show. We've actually done the Oaxaca Old Fashioned on the show too, but this is so good, I wanted to repeat it. So this Division Bell we actually have never had.
No, we have not.
We have not. So this is a shake and drink. So I have my chilled coupe glasses sitting here, and I'm going to pull my shaker out. And this one I'm actually going to use the Vita Mezcal in. And it takes 1 ounce of Mezcal. So this is a Mezcal forward cocktail. There is no other spirit. There's a couple liqueurs in it, but no other spirit. The Aperol. Now, as Aperol is in the bitters family, so it is similar to Campari, but it's not as bitter. It has a lower alcohol content. It's good in the summer in a spritzer. So this is 3/4 of the Aperol. And then we are going to do a 1/2 ounce of the Luxardo Maraschino cherry liqueur. And I think at one show I went through what the must-have liqueurs are. And in my opinion, Campari and this Maraschino cherry liqueur are on my must-have list.
Yes, I agree with that.
And then 3/4 ounce of fresh lime juice. And again, when you're doing fresh lime juice, you want to squeeze it and strain it before you measure it into the cocktail, because then it gives you all, you're not overcompensating for pulp or any of that. Okay, and now I am going to add my ice to the cocktail. And I'm actually interested to see how loud this shaking is going to be with this wireless mic. We may have to do there's all kinds of sound settings on this mic. I just went with the standard out of the box.
Well, I hope Bob, my neighbor, is watching. Normally on Fridays, his wife told me he watches Wheel of Fortune, and I know it's for Vanna White. So, Bob, if you're watching, this is the best part of the show coming up.
Okay. And Kevin Shoei says, you guys do great. Love it. Well, thank you, Kevin.
Thanks,
we
Kevin.
We actually have fun doing this. Or else we wouldn't keep doing it.
Yeah.
And again, we're always shaking until it gets so cold. We can't hold it. You can see all of the froth on the glass. And all these shaken cocktails, we always double strain. This way it keeps any of the ice particles, or if there happens to be, citrus pulp or something, it strains all of that out. And this cocktail takes a grapefruit twist or swath. I like big swath. And again, always you spritz it, get all that nice oil out of there. And baby, come try the Division Bell because...
Okay, I'll be right there. I just have one thing left to do.
Jane, so much fun to watch. Thank you. I know, it's our ad-libbing. Always ad-libbing. I really want to taste this, and he's not over here yet. It's one of our rules. We have to cheers.
Yes, we have to cheers. No pre-tasting.
So I'm trying to be very patient here.
I know.
I'm going to move these.
It's hard when you're cooking, though, to be getting this all done just right.
He's working on his plating skills. Kevin says, I do hear your stomach growling. Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah, now the mic is so close to everything. It's how are the background noises, like the shaking and everything? Was it too much? Maggie says, sneak a snip. Sneak a sip. Say that 3 times fast.
No, don't you be doing that.
Those are so when I was young, I had to go to speech therapy because I had a lisp. And it was mainly with S's and TH's. So, and there's still, to this day, I have to enunciate those things very slowly or else I fall back into that habit. Cheers.
Cheers, baby. I love you.
Love you.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
I have served up here what I have prepared.
This is really good.
Oh, yeah, that is very tasty.
Mm-hmm.
You can taste the citrus in that.
I recommend the Division Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Darlene says, got to have the kiss before the sip. Exactly.
That's right.
Kevin, just kidding. Sound is great. Well, thank you. Okay. Thank you for saying that.
So here's what we're doing for dinner tonight.
Food cam on.
All right. I don't know if you guys can see this all.
Yeah.
Can you adjust the lighting to make it more mood lighting like? Make it more romantic. Anyway, this is a mixed green salad. I have diced carrots on here. I like purple onions. I have radishes. And next week, I will be having radishes out of my garden. I think it's next week. And then over here, I buy this Trader Joe's cornbread, and it actually...
Move over this way.
So I buy this Trader Joe's cornbread mix, and it actually has... dehydrated corn kernels in there, and when you mix it all up, it sort of rehydrates them. It's so good. I love it. So what I did is I like sorghum, molasses, backstrap molasses. I also use it in a lot of my gardening as well because it's a huge provider of carbohydrates. So I like it on there, and then I have some honey that I get out of our down the street, and a lady has all these beehives, and I buy honey from her every couple of weeks. I usually buy 2 pounds at a time, and it's just right down the street. And then this is the soup here. Has all the beans in it. You're supposed to top it with sour cream. I usually never buy sour cream. I buy non-fat, unflavored
Greek yogurt.
Greek yogurt.
I don't think, is it non-fat? I think it is.
I don't know. It's good. So these are all the beans. And one thing I wanted to mention when I was making this is I on the menu, I put 5 different beans on there. If there's, for some reason, you don't like kidney beans, you can use, I really like the little bitty, the small Dominican red beans. They're really nice. You can use northern white beans. You can use any kind of beans. It doesn't really matter. What? We'll get up here.
Yeah, so Gracie's speaking. I don't know if you can hear her.
So it's just a matter of 5 beans that you use. And what I like about this is it's very low fat, it's very high protein, and it's very high fiber. Yep. And it's just got a ton of really good flavor with the cumin. There's a lot of garlic and salt and pepper, not a lot of salt, but pepper. And then the Scotch bonnet peppers that I add in there give it just a little kick of heat, along with the smokiness of the bacon. Okay. So that's all I got to talk about.
Okay, I think no other comments here. So again, guys, thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed the video, please, share it with a couple of friends. And we love the comments and the likes. So cheers.
Cheers, everybody. Have a great weekend.
And see you next Friday.
You got it.
Bye-bye.